Hi, today let's enjoy another movie called Baahubali. The film begins with an injured lady named Sivagami holding a baby by a waterfall, as two soldiers look for her. She traps the men and murders them before fleeing. Unfortunately, she gets trapped in the river, and as the water carries her away, she prays to God that her life be taken away for the mistakes she made. But the baby must survive in order to exact revenge on those who murdered his family members. Villagers from the Ambari tribe headed by Sangha discovered her holding the child above the water. As one of the men is rescuing the child, she points to the mountains and drowned. They later see a tunnel and realize that the drowned lady escaped the troops via this secret tunnel. Since she pointed towards the mountains, Sanga's husband wants to return the baby there, but Sangha refuses, fearing for his safety. She decides to adopt him and names him Shiva. Sangha then orders the cave to be sealed. As Shiva gets older, he persists in climbing up the mountain much to Sangha's disappointment, and he spends years trying to climb it. Meanwhile, his mother pleads with God to keep her son from climbing again. She also took water from the waterfalls and frequently poured it on a statue, as recommended by a sage. When Sangha refuses to stop the action, Shiva carries the statue to the bottom of the waterfall so that his mother is no longer required to pour water on it. Following that, he discovers a wooden mask that has fallen from the mountain's peak. Shiva is too attracted by the wooden mask, and he unexpectedly made a face in the sand using it. Then he proceeds to complete the picture of a beautiful lady. He rushes to the waterfalls where he imagines a stunning woman calling him. He then chases after her and begins climbing the mountain. He keeps following her till he reaches the peak of the mountain. Then he sees the same woman, Avantika, being chased by troops from the Mahishmati kingdom. Avantika appears to be helpless, but she is actually leading them into a trap. Shiva sees Avantika and her soldiers slaughtering the troops one by one. While Avantika was relaxing by the lake that evening, Shiva approached her and drew a henna design on her hand. Without noticing anything, she rushes to their meeting. King Bhalla's birthday is approaching. This provides the rebel tribe with the ideal chance to rescue their queen. The chief assigns Avantika to organize the rescue, but he finds the painting on her hand and accuses her of ignoring her duties for beauty. She sheds tears, assuring him that she is focused on the task more than anything. He then understands her dedication and forgives her. Then we see the ruthless King Bhalla battling with a massive bull to show his strength. Nevertheless, he thinks he defeated it and flees the area, but the bull is about to attack again and Katappa attempts to stop it, putting his life in danger. All in all, Bhalla fights and defeats the bull, while Katappa is injured. Bhalla praised him for his loyalty, and in return, he is free to request anything he desires. Katappa wants the liberation of Queen Devasana, who has been imprisoned for 25 years. He granted his wish, but reminded him that killing her was the only way to liberate her, otherwise, she would be imprisoned for lifetime. Later, Bhalla pays a visit to Devasena. He expresses his hatred towards her for choosing another man over him, who cannot even help her right now. After that, they leave her feeling devastated. In the evening, Katappa comes to set her free, but she refuses as she believes that her long-lost son will come to free her. They all think that her son has died, but she is determined. She gets angry when Katappa questions her about collecting twigs like a mad woman, and she angrily replied that it was funeral pyre for Bhalla. Meanwhile, Avantika returned to the river to find out who tattooed her hand that evening. She is positioned on the tree, unaware that Shiva is behind her. Then he releases a snake to keep her from moving while tattooing her on her shoulder without being seen. Later, she finds the tattoo on her shoulder. This motivates her to look for the criminal. Shiva is sitting in front of a fire when Avantika attacks him. She caught him and asked him about who he was. Avantika finds it unbelievable that he could climb the mountain, as it is impossible. She keeps on attacking him as he tries his level best to reveal her inner beauty. Later she sees her reflection through the water and she is surprised by her beauty. Afterwards she is touched by Shiva's words as she discovers his purpose of climbing the mountain was to meet her and return the mask. The following day Avantika makes Shiva unconscious and leaves him. Unfortunately, she is captured and tortured by soldiers from Mahishmati kingdom. A man is about to slaughter her when Shiva comes to her rescue. They escape from there, but the soldiers kept on chasing them, so Shiva threw a huge snowball that caused a storm of snow which destroyed the soldiers. Then he takes a tree trunk to safely slide down the mountain. Later Shiva takes Avantika's duty and promises to rescue Devasena even without knowing her. Shiva sneaked into Mahishmati the next day and finds slaves erecting a golden statue of Bhalla. The statue slips out of their hands, but Shiva catches it, and his mask reveals his face briefly to an old man who calls him Baahubali. Then the whole kingdom starts to chant Baahubali rebelliously to Bhalla's anger, and the statue is positioned. Meanwhile, Sangha and her people are looking for Shiva and worries about his sudden disappearance. That night, the king speaks to all the soldiers, asking them who was the first to say the name Baahubali. When no one admits it, Shiva presents himself, but he pretends to trip and put the place on fire. Soon after, he escapes towards Devasena's solitary cell and the king orders the troops to capture him. Devasena is happy to see her son, but he is being attacked by many soldiers. He is focused on his goal to rescue the queen and uses a chariot to escape, but they are caught when a trap is laid for them. King Bala's son tortures Devasena. This infuriates Shiva and he is close to killing the prince when Katappa comes to rescue him. They fight each other continuously, then Avantika and the warriors are happy to see Devasena, but the king's soldiers are about to attack her, so the two groups rush towards each other. However, when Sangha and her people arrive in search of their Shiva, they are horrified by what they see. Shiva seizes Katappa's sword and slashes the prince's head as he attempts to escape, shocking everyone around. This infuriates Katappa, who rushes towards Shiva to kill him but is terribly shocked when he recognizes his face. He falls to his knees and shouts Baahubali into the skies. All the soldiers and the warriors also fell to their knees. Then, out of respect, Katappa places Shiva's foot on his head. The following morning, after learning that he was adopted and that his original name is Mahendra Baahubali, Katappa informs Shiva of the background of the Mahishmati Empire, which Shiva's grandfather founded over 50 years earlier. Bijalal and Vikram were the two sons of King Somadeva. Due to his physical impairment, the eldest son of the king, Bijalal was denied the right to be crowned, which frustrated him. Bijalal's wife Sivagami had a son named Bhalla. Vikram later dies in battle, but his wife gives birth to a son before she died of childbirth. Then Sivagami names the boy Baahubali. The people plan to revolt and take over the throne, but Sivagami arrives and ordered her trusted soldier Katappa to destroy them all while she herself killed the leader of the revolters. Meanwhile, Sivagami carries the two young boys and decides to give them equal rights to the throne. As time goes by, they train the boys to be great warriors. Prince Baahubali proves to be loved by the people for his respect and kindness. On the other hand, Prince Bhalla is jealous of Baahubali but pretends to love him. They believe both princes have equal strength, making it more difficult for the queen to decide who to be crowned. One day, a traitor stole their military secret for the Kalakya tribe. The Kalakyas are a harsh and ruthless tribe that robs and destroys kingdoms. The two princes went to look for the traitor in their neighboring kingdoms and found him in a place where thieves and murderers gathered together. The traitor ran away and jumped off a cliff to escape the punishment, but Baahubali jumped off too with the help of a rope and asked Bhalla to pull them up. Since Bhalla wanted Baahubali to die, he let them fall. When he saw Katappa and other soldiers approaching, he cancelled his plan to kill Baahubali and pretended to save him instead. Mahishmati kingdom decided to go in a battle with the Kalakya tribe who stole their military secret. Sivagami also decided that whoever kills Inkoshi, the enemy's chief amongst the two princes, will be the next king. Katappa informed Baahubali that he had less weapons and soldiers compared to Bhalla, but Baahubali cared less because he had another plan to destroy the enemies. On the day of the battle, they all assembled their weapons and positioned to attack. While the enemies were approaching, Prince Bhalla signaled his soldiers and hundreds of arrows were launched towards the enemies. Baahubali on the other hand sent a huge cloth to cover the enemies and burn them. This also killed many of the Kalakyas. The enemies continued approaching and the two princes kept on fighting bravely. While Baahubali uses his sword to kill the enemies one by one, Bhalla is privileged with an advanced tool that destroys many at once. Inkoshi uses captured villagers as a shield to protect himself however. Baahubali was able to save them while at the same time destroying the enemies compared to Bhalla who continued killing the enemies together with the innocent people. Meanwhile, the enemies attacked Mahishmati's defense and killed a lot of their warriors and raised their flag. They were almost losing the battle when Baahubali encouraged them with his word of wisdom. This renewed their spirit to continue fighting. They continued to attack the enemy and destroyed a plenty of them. Finally Baahubali and Bhalla's troops attacked the chief's defense. Bhalla fell off his chariot as the chief struck him. Prince Bhalla attacks the chief with all his strength and frustration so that he can win against Baahubali. However Baahubali skillfully disarms and defeats the chief with the golden lion head from Bhalla's destroyed chariot. The chief is injured so badly, when Baahubali was about to finish him off, Bhalla took over and killed him instead to steal the credit for killing the chief. After the chief's death the enemy retreated. Bajilal argues that since his son Bhalla killed the chief, he deserves to be the crowned king. Sivagami however chooses Baahubali, who saved his subjects and encouraged the soldiers during the battle. She declares that Baahubali deserves to be king, and the soldiers and citizens chant Baahubali's name and praised him. Back in the present, Sangha is happy that her Shiva is the son of a great and kind king. She wished to see him but Katappa tells them that Baahubali is dead. Before the movie ends, he confesses that he was the one who betrayed him.